What's up everyone, TubeElephant here, and I'm here for another discussion video, this time with MattVisual and
What's up?
Psychopoweranger. What's up guys?
Yo yo!
So let's start off by talking about the cosmetic stuff in Guild Wars 2. How are people gonna keep playing the game? Why are people gonna stay playing the game once they get max damage stuff? What do you guys think about this?
Well, the way I look at it is there's still games out there that even once you have like max stuff, they still play it. Like a wonderful example is Call of Duty. Like even though you have all the stuff, you still play it. If they make the game good enough, and the fact that there's like a more live combat system, that might make it possible for people just to stick around just for that reason. Like in PvP, they'll stay around just because it still requires a lot of skill. Kind of like, well, I guess Call of Duty doesn't take like super skill because it's a video game, but you know what I'm saying. It is not
Yeah, I know what you're saying. But still, people are so used to having to do dungeons and do raids and all that stuff just to get better gear. They won't be able to do that in Guild Wars 2. Don't you think some people will be disappointed and just go into the game expecting so many different stuff and then find out it's for cosmetic stuff, so...
Well, I think it depends on how they do it, like how they go about it. I mean, if the dungeons and the story and everything is really good and the gameplay is really good and the PvP, especially since it doesn't really matter about gear, is really good, I think they really won't care about it too much, and they'll care about how cool this glove looks. And I mean, that's really what it's all about anyway. Like when you see someone with a really cool wings or something like that, and you're like, oh my gosh, that guy's so awesome, how did you get that?
Right, yeah. I think there'll be a amount of people who actually will be really upset with the fact that they can't grind. But like, let's be honest, like, though I personally am still kind of upset that there isn't like gear that I can still work towards, but it's not saying that there isn't gear that you can't work towards, because there's still a bunch of cool gear that you can look out for. But like, to be in all honesty, how much do you actually like going for that gear? I mean, I personally didn't like getting that gear in the first place. Though I liked it, but I didn't. It was kind of a love-hate relationship, It's
a grind.
So I think exactly, and like, to be honest, most people don't like to grind. I mean, there's obviously some people out there, but people
Those
get
Chinese
over it.
gold farmers.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta be gold farming.
Yeah.
I mean, do we really think that all 10 million subscribers to WoW really do raids? I don't think so.
Right. No,
I really
It's
don't
a big
think
part
so.
of the game, though. It's a really big part of the game.
Yeah,
people
definitely is. But to be fair, I didn't raid. I hardly raided in Guild Wars, or not Guild Wars, in World of Warcraft. I mostly PvP'd because, I mean, that's what I was into. But
Yeah, and
they're still...
let's talk a bit about raids. Do you guys want to see raids in Guild Wars 2? Do you want to have like these epic 10-man or 25-man instances? Or do you think just dynamic events will take over that role of raiding?
Or maybe the dragons too, the big dragon epic, fights.
Oh, you
There's
don't want
100
those
events.
to be dynamic in the world? Just have the dragon fly in somewhere?
It's really... That's up in the air for me, because I really like the fact that all of the dungeons right now are 5-man, because they're easy to pick up. You can just grab some people and go.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can't have a huge guild like communion together like that, because you can't be all together doing dungeons. You can do dynamic events, obviously, but you can't be like, oh, hey, let's get some of our like biggest guild members, and you can't really like have that guild connection. But I honestly like that there's only 5-mans, because it could get stressful trying to find a group unless you're a big guild.
And if they're challenging enough, that's going to keep people playing them.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And the fact that dynamic events will even affect dungeons, like, that adds just a whole bunch of, like, obviously they're not going to affect them hardcore. There's no way they'd do that for them. But the fact that it'll change little things depending on what has happened in the outside world, I think that's really cool.
And no Holy Trinity either.
Yeah, definitely.
So you could play with anybody. It doesn't have to be a tank. It doesn't have to be a healer.
Yeah,
Anyone. You're like, hey, anyone want to play with me? Sure.
Exactly. That's so good. I can't tell you how many times. Yeah, exactly. I can't tell you how many times, like, paint this picture. You're like, okay, I have like a couple hours. I can go ahead and do a dungeon. And then it takes you like an hour to find somebody, so then you don't even get to do it.
Yeah.
Like, paint that picture. Like, that won't. Hopefully, that won't happen. It shouldn't happen because there's no Trinity. So that's really cool. You aren't actually wasting hours of your life just sitting looking for somebody.
Yeah, what you do is you jump in the game, you start it up, and you just instantly
you're-
find a group and play and have fun, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? That's why you play games, to have fun.
Yeah,
not to
you play games to not. You don't play games to
sit around.
Just sit around and spam unless you're trying to merchant and become like super rich. But yeah, you don't just sit around and just type text. If I want to do that, I just go to school and write a paper.
But isn't that a really good thing that you don't have to, grind for gear? That because like, what about one day you're busy, or maybe a week you're busy? Maybe you need overtime in work, or you're going out of town. When you come back, you don't have to worry about, man, I didn't do this, I didn't get the gear, I didn't do this, now I'm gonna be sucky. It doesn't matter anymore. You just go into the game because you want to see your friends, you want to play, you want to have fun. You don't have to worry about, man,
Definitely.
if I don't play on this day, on all these days, and raid and do this and do that, I'm not gonna have what I want.
It caters to a casual group. I know what you like. That's really nice. It also caters to the hardcore because there's all sorts of like reasons to get it, like for looks and all sorts of like. There's just all sorts of different like epic gear that just looks awesome, and like for the hardcore players, they're really making the PvP look awesome. And like, to be honest, most like the hardcore of the hardcore usually also PvP. And what's really nice about also not having to worry about getting that gear is guilds can be a lot closer together, because before there was kind of like cliques and guilds, because there was the guild mates who were the raiders and could raid, and then there was the guild mates who couldn't and would have to be in a different guild first to get their gear up, and then they could join the guild up and then start raiding with them. You couldn't. Now you can be in a guild and be in the guild. Oh, hey, you want to join up with us? Sure. Like, there's no I need to get this epic loot first.
I think the mentality of the gamers is going to change, like from, okay, you need to do this dungeon to get that piece of armor. It's going to change to, okay, I'm gonna do this dungeon because it's challenging and because it's fun and because I want to do this dungeon, and not because I have to do this dungeon in order to get that particular item. That's gonna be a big change.
Yeah, definitely. And like that really, it'll get rid of a lot of pompous players and like people who are like, oh, don't even like elitists. It'll take out a lot of elitists out of the game because there isn't as much to be elite about. You know what I'm saying? So like, it'll create a more friendly community.
Yeah.
So that's really an up plus for sure.
And people who want to be like, I want to own, they can be in PvP.
Right.
We're gonna have a good group.
Because we all know PvP is going to be awesome.
It's so I could talk your ear off about PvP. Although I'd just be saying like the same things, because there's some things I love. Like dodge, yes, dodge, yeah.
I think that about wraps it up though. Oh yeah, you guys should definitely go check out these guys' channel. Psychopoweranger is the most funny guy ever.
Funny.
He's hilarious, really. So go check out his channel, go subscribe, show him some love. Then MattVisual makes all the music for my videos. He makes great gameplay videos. He does all kind of awesome stuff. So just go subscribe to him, go check him out. And that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.